Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Blue Sky Window Cleaning, here on YouTube. Today I wanted to talk about something I don't hear a lot of people talk about, and that is subcontracting, sub work, and just wanted to share my experience with it. So today I wanted to tell you about how subcontracting started my business and pretty much ended my business the first time around. I started this back in the beginning of 2017, I believe was my first, actually towards the end of 2016 is when I started putting everything into the work to start a window cleaning business. 2017 was when I went into business and started getting my first jobs. Right at the beginning, I had a couple of other jobs, like some pressure washing. I talk about that in one of my other videos. Some pressure washing and gutter cleaning, but I had no window cleaning experience. Now, up to this point, I had never touched a squeegee or a mop to a window other than me practicing over and over and over and over and over again in my own house on one window in my back bedroom. And I would practice for literally hours on end. I knew what I wanted to do and I knew where I was going. I knew where I wanted to go. So at this point in time, I've never put a squeegee to a window, never put a mop to a window. I had never washed a window before, other than, what I've seen on YouTube and practicing on my own bedroom window. That was as far as my experience went, but I knew I wanted to do it. So I was going to do whatever I could to make that happen. So I was advertising, at this time I was advertising on Yelp. And let's see, Yelp, I had some Craigslist ads going, and I got my business cards. I was going around neighborhoods handing them out. I didn't do a lot of that type of canvassing because I really feel like most of it is going to be online nowadays. That's just my opinion. Take that with a grain of salt. This is just about my experience with subcontract work. So up to that point, hadn't washed no windows, had really no idea how to do it. I got a reply on one of my Craigslist ads one day, and it was this guy that owns another window washing company. He's pretty small, but he was getting a lot of business. He owns another company here around my area. I'm not going to say his name or his company or anything like that. He responded to my Craigslist ad, any type of subcontracting work. This was my first experience with anybody else in the business. And he said, "Hey, would you be willing to do any subcontracting work?" And I was like, I didn't know what it was. And I was like, yeah, I told him I just went into business. And as a new guy, I never told anybody, "Oh, I've never washed a window before. If you do that, then you're really screwed." I told him, I had a little bit of experience and I knew what I was doing. I really didn't, and I was scared shitless, but I went with it anyways. And so he was like, "I'm really swamped right now. I can't get to this job tomorrow. Can you do it?" And I was like, okay. I was like, "Hey, yeah." I really wanted to get this going, and it was my first window cleaning job. And gosh, I don't know if you guys remember your first job or not, but I went to this house by myself with my ladder, and I started washing these windows. Oh my gosh. If there was ever so scared shitless, I didn't know what I was doing. This house was, it wasn't like a mansion or anything, but it was probably in this area, probably about a $500,000 house, which is, it's pretty good. It was 2 stories with, windows. I had never been up that high on the windows. Still didn't know how to take out the screens properly. I didn't know how to do any pole work. I ended up having to use the people on the property. I had to use their ladder to get to some of these windows. And, I was like, it took me all day. I was there for probably 10 hours, but I had never done this before and I knew I wanted to do it. So I took the job. Everything went good. The customer was happy. I got paid out. Everything worked out well, and it seemed like after that job, I started getting more jobs, not with him. I still did some contract work for him. And every now and again, he would call me and say, "Hey, can you do some more work?" If I had openings, I would book them with him and I would use his customers. And that's how my window cleaning experience started. I didn't know anything, guys. It was pretty nerve-wracking. Fast forward a little while, that's how my window cleaning experience started. So fast forward, this one job came along. I get a phone call from this guy. He says, "Hey, I got this big job. It's a commercial job. I can't take it on right now. I got all this work. Will you subcontract this work for me?" And I was like, yeah, definitely, I will do it. You know, I was still new, wanting to get my name out there. I was like, yeah, I'll do it. I had to go take this class to be on the construction site. I had to get certified. It was a hard hat area. It was a new building they were building here in downtown Portland. I have a picture of it. I took a screenshot of it. This building, gosh, there were so many windows of different sizes. That was probably 6 stories high, and we were only doing the interior. We were doing the interior of the building, or I was doing the interior of the building. And so I got this job, and I started doing this job, and it took me about 5 days. You know, like I said, I was still new, not knowing everything. So I would show up to work. I would go there. I had to pay for parking. So I want to talk about how this subcontracting work nearly put me out of business, and pretty much did. So I had done a few jobs for this guy, and I had pretty much trusted him. We kind of developed a bit of a friendship, and he was like, you know, we're gonna subcontract this work. He's like, I'll pay you out $30 an hour, but I just don't have time to do it. And I was like, that's cool. You know, I was new, I needed the money, so I would take it. And so I started doing the work on this building. I started cleaning out all the windows. They had probably like 4 different types of windows, but some of these windows were like 7 feet by 7 feet, all the way down to like 1 foot by 1 foot. There was 2 buildings right next to each other. It's this thing that they're building down there right across the bridge or something. So I was going there every day washing these windows. I wasn't taking on more jobs at that time because I was trying to get this job done and get paid out for that, you know. And I was super pumped, man. I was super excited. I was like, yes, you know, I'm getting some commercial work. You know, it's these super big buildings. It made me as a new guy feel recognized, you know, feel like, okay, I'm a business. I needed those small victories. As a new guy, you need those small victories, and this was a big victory for me. That's how I saw it. And so I was going to work there every day. I would show up at like 9 o'clock in the morning. I would start washing windows like crazy, man. It was really cool, man. They had the air conditioner on in there. You know, there was nothing in there. It was just wood floors in the windows. There was nobody in the building. There was people in the buildings, but they weren't usually on the floor that I was on. We had access to the elevator. We had 6 floors, 2 buildings. Come to the last day and everything, it was going to end up being about $1,200 that I was owed. I'm still owed to this day. So the way that it worked was somebody else subcontracted to him, actually Northwest Construction Inc. So Northwest Construction subcontracted the work out to this other company who subcontracted that work out to me. So I was like a third party subcontractor, you know, but I had trusted this other company because he had never done me wrong. He's always paid out, and I was like, cool, you know, I didn't think I had anything to worry about. So long story short, I didn't get paid. It wasn't, well, from my point of view, from what I was told, it wasn't the company that hired me, it was the company that hired him. And I mean, I believe that. You know, I went through and I looked up this other guy, and I was trying to get a hold of him. You know, I would call him and call him and call him because I was kind of like suspicious that maybe this person just didn't pay me. Maybe they didn't want to pay me. Maybe they just wanted to keep the money for themselves. So I was trying to get a hold of the main company, the main guy, you know, to see, you know, like, hey, when are you going to pay us? You know, when are you going to pay out? I never could get a hold of him. You know, I went online. He has like 10 different businesses, all with like the same kind of name, like Northwest Construction, Construction Northwest, Construction, and it was all under the same guy's name. And I mean, this guy he was obviously getting money. He's a window cleaner, but he does it for like all commercial, all new construction, big commercial buildings. So you know that he was making money. He's driving a Hummer. So I believe like he got over on us, and he really got over on me. And the reason why it put me out of business is because I had no capital buildup. I put all my money into my equipment, into my vehicle, into my ladders, into Yelp ads and stuff like that. I had no capital, you know, and I was really, really fresh. So I had no working capital, you know, and I started this business from zero. I didn't have no money. I think altogether I put like $500 or $600 into this, and that was like over time. That wasn't like all at one time. So I was screwed. I mean, I had put out 5 days of work for this guy, and I wasn't able to pay my rent. I guess that's the saying, you know, you ever heard that? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Well, my basket was full of my eggs, and they were in his hands, and it really, really screwed me over. It screwed me over so much to the point where I almost lost my apartment. Came down to an eviction notice, and I had to get a regular job because I wasn't getting money coming in. So I had to find a regular job, and that was the end of that adventure. I always knew that where I wanted to go back to. I always kept all my window cleaning gear, and I would still take on little jobs here and there. Never for that guy. He's actually, the guy that hired me, he's actually out of business now. But he was killing it, though. He was like #1 in the whole area, the Portland metro area. He was like #1 on Yelp. He was getting a lot of business, man. That's how subcontracting work costed me my business. And I'm not saying it's all like that. I'm sure there's guys out there that have plenty of stories. And if you do have a story with subcontract work, let me know. Leave it in the comments below, please. If you're thinking about getting subcontracting work or doing subcontracting work, just think about it. Do some research on the companies. In the end, subcontract work was both a blessing and a curse to my company. But yeah, that's my subcontract story. Let me know if you have one. So sorry that I'm just jumping all around here, but it just is all in my head, and I just want to get it out there. I just want to get it out there because I feel like maybe it'll help somebody. Maybe it won't. Maybe you guys will say, hey, you're a dumbass and that's what you get for trusting somebody. Or maybe this or maybe that. I don't know. This is my video, and I wanted to make it, guys. I appreciate anybody that watches it. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave a comment, man. Later. Gosh, I really love window cleaning, man. I just wanted to work so bad, and I'm just working my freaking ass off, I feel, every day to get it done. Oh, did I tell you guys how I got sponsored by Pepsi? Crazy story. I'm drinking about a fucking 100,000 of them. Alright guys, that's it. Hopefully I brought some value to this internet. If I brought the slightest bit of value to this, then it was damn well worth it. Alright guys, I'm out of here.